And you've mentioned 3 or 4 key people that are industry standard setters, and to have those here with us is a big deal. And that has a lot to do with your background expertise, because you knew who you wanted.
Yeah, I knew who I wanted. I also knew who I wanted as director of sales, and I knew who I wanted as director of operations.
And there you go.
You know, I know how fast these things can grow. At one point in time in my company, we doubled every month for 17 straight months. Okay, we doubled again, 17 straight months. That is fun and exciting, but a very interesting business challenge, and a fantastic experience to have gone through. And the guy that was my international director of operations, national and international director of operations, Mr. Paul Jansen, was the fellow that really did the heavy lifting of the whole organizational infrastructure of staying ahead of that doubling every single month. And so I knew
Which
that
is a big task to do.
It's huge.
That's a huge task.
I mean, anybody that's been in a business that's had that type of growth just knows that sometimes businesses die because they do so well.
Right.
You know, they go out of business because they're doing so much business. He was my #1 choice to bring into the Strongbrook team as director of operations. I didn't know if he was available. We hadn't spoken in a couple of years, and he took a look, and he came on board, and he's the director of operations. So I had this great sense of, because I absolutely know, I worked side by side with him for 14 years. I absolutely know he's an operations guru. You know, standard operating procedures on everything, QC procedures on everything. So I feel very, very comfortable there. And then on the sales side, in my 34 years of being involved in this industry, the #1 guy that I wanted, that I felt was the perfect fit for this company, was a man named Jim Bellicera. He has succeeded time and time and time again. He's not a one-hit wonder.
No.
And he has created, you know, 7-figure-year incomes time and time again, entire training systems for some of the largest companies out there. I also didn't know if he'd be interested. And truthfully, when I first talked to him about it, he wasn't. He said, I
remember you said that.
I don't get it. Real estate, come on, Ed, you don't know it. But he kept coming back, and he kept flying out, and he started meeting the people and learning the heart of the people. He started learning what these men and women here that are putting this together are really about. And he found out that it really was more important to them to be serving the client and to be serving the investor and to be serving the independent business developer. To be serving their needs was a higher priority than to just serve the company's profit needs. And he saw that they were people first. And Jim had made a commitment a few years back to no longer be associated with anybody that wasn't a people first centric individual. And so he started falling in love with it, and we lucked out. He's,
lo and behold, he's here.
VP
of Sales and Directing. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's funny. I met Jim through another one of my friends, and I could tell he just had a little spark in his step. You know, he's one of these, just a little smile, a little grin, and that though he's been 30 years in his industry, he said it rekindled a little spark in me I haven't had in a long time, and that's why he's here. And I think he's going to do a great job for you. And guys like that, when I can meet people like you and people in the field get to see something like you that's real, that's done that, had the experience, come here and put your kind of stamp of approval on this company. That's a big deal to me. Well, and a big deal to feel. If you guys are listening here, this interview here, if you get a chance to get to meet Ed, it's wonderful, and some of his stories, and he's been very conservative here with us, but he's been very successful, and to bring his name here is a big deal. And I want to just edify you in the fact that most people don't do that. And that says a lot about all the team here and Strongbrook, what they bring to you, and that you came here, and that you're consulting, you're helping, you're nurturing along, and you've opened a division that's going to make this thing explode. And I'm hoping they can just hang on to the reins, because it's going to go.
Well, I feel very confident in the infrastructure. You know, when you talk about putting the stamp of approval, I must tell you, it took a long time before I got to that point where I was willing to put the stamp of approval. I mean, I actually got all these guys' names, their wives' names, their addresses, their previous addresses. I paid people to do background checks on them. I've learned through, you know, I mean, I have had some very interesting challenges in my business life because I didn't do that kind of diligence. And I'm coming off of something that did very well, and I was in a very lucky position in life, and when I didn't have to do this or have to do anything, and I was all sorts of different business opportunities were available, but nothing just really felt right. And but it did take a while. But yes, I absolutely have put my stamp of approval on this group of people. All that stuff came back clean as a whistle. And in my coming on to about 10 months experience with them now, I have never seen one thing behind closed doors. I'm working with the president and CEO of the company as their senior advisor. I'm in all the closed doors meetings. All the books are open to me, everything. I've never seen anything once where the stage talk was different than the behind the door talk.
Which is very unusual in this industry.
I hate to say so.
I hate to say that too. That's one of the things we both don't like. But what I see is also credibility here, and I see real value as well as people they're living their talk. You know, they're walking their talk. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
And as to see the president and how sharp he is at this young age, and his energy and passion, my gosh, that got me too. And then you had you on top of it. It's like icing on the cake. And then you had Babner, you had Sheffield, you had all the staff, and then the product, and you go, wow, all we got to do is what? Go to work? I'm excited about that. So this interview is really to kind of get to know Ed a little bit here, and I hope this will help you in your field. I hope you have a chance to come out one of the functions and meet him and press the flesh and say hi, because he's a great guy. And what I love about successful people, they treat everybody like normal people. You know, the people that have status, and that's what I love about you. You don't have status, you're just successful. That's more important. Most people are not successful have status. So this guy is very successful. He's touchable. You can shake his can. You can touch his clothes. He's real. And I appreciate the time of the day. And thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Real pleasure.
All right. Thank
Thanks.
you.